It is Friday, September 2, 2016. We're pleased to bring you today's edition of the Government News Brief. Welcome. In the news, executives of the National Tushal Council say the recently concluded meeting is a significant change compared to years prior, preparations moving apace to relocate Brick Dam secondary students, and the Guyana Power and Light implementing a new initiative to reduce electricity theft. Stay tuned as we bring you the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Azim Khan. Here now are the details. The executives of the National Tushals Council have described the recently concluded NTC meeting as one with a significant change, as for the first time over 80% of their concerns were heard. We have the details in this report. Chairman of the National Tushals Council, Joel Frederick, says over 212 Indigenous leaders had the opportunity to meet and interact with officials of the government. He deems the conference a success.
This conference this year was a conference of great significant change. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, Minister Lowe, it is first time in history, as I know, the NTC has ever chaired their own conference. And I would join with the Vice Chair to say that the NTC, for many years, we have been building our capacity, and here we've been given the chance to demonstrate what we've been taught.
Vice Chairman of the National Tushals Council, Lennox Schumann, believes that with the inclusion of the Indigenous peoples in the consultative process to aid their development, Guyana is now on the right track.
We've had a very successful National Tushals conference. At least in our view, it was a very great opportunity, a tremendous opportunity, if I may say that, for us to be able to take a different position than we have had in the past. We had an opportunity to control the agenda and to chair our own program for the first time, I think, in the establishment of the NTC's history. And that, I would say, is a marked departure from previous.
The National Tushals Council met in Georgetown from August 22 to 27, 2016 for its annual meeting. During this time, over 200 Indigenous leaders engaged respective government ministers in addressing concerns of the people in their communities. It was held under the theme Guyana's First People, Preserving Our Culture and Land for Life. Preparations are moving apace for the relocation of students of the Brick Dam Secondary School to the former East La Penitence Primary School. Kadaki Amsterdam reports.
Students of the Brick Dam Secondary School are set to experience much improved conditions at the start of the new school year. Minister of Education Dr. Rupert Roopnarine says works are moving apace to have the building ready.
We're trying to deal with East La Penitence. We got to make sure that the ground is okay, the facilities are okay. We need a lot of work to be done out there. We've got to weed the compound, we got to get the place really in a state of readiness, which is not at the moment. We got to clear the compound.
Further, the minister says the move has become necessary because of the inadequacy of the space and recreational facilities at the location previously used to house the Brick Dam Secondary School.
I think in general, the move is necessary in terms of the needs have really outgrown the facilities at Brick Dam. So that's the real reason for the movement.
Following a sit-in by teachers and protest by parents of students of the Brick Dam Secondary School, the Ministry of Education in 2015 took the decision to close the school. Minister Roopnarine says the move is intended to relocate students temporarily to a more conducive environment. Preparations are being made to cater for a new school in the 2017 budget. Kidaki Amsterdam for Government News Brief.
The Guyana Power and Light is implementing a new initiative to clamp down on electricity theft. Renetta Lafleur has this report.
The power company plans to replace approximately 54,000 meters to reduce electricity and losses, says Acting Chief Executive Officer Renford Homer.
What we would expect is that with this program coming to completion and with all the things that the program has highlighted to be done, completed, then there is a projection also that that investment would see a sustained reduction of approximately 5% in losses from where we are now at approximately 29% to potentially just about 23.8% thereabouts in 2020.
The program, which falls under Component 3 of the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank funded Power Utility Upgrade Program, will benefit the company since losses incurred from electricity theft result in millions of dollars.
They are unfortunately those customers who, let's just say, are more interested in not paying for what they consume. It's unfortunate, but it is true. And it is that unbilled electricity that can actually hurt the utility. All right? For GPL, if we recover, let's say, 1% of losses, that translates on an annual basis to approximately close to $250 million.
Meanwhile, the company is awaiting Cabinet's approval for the construction of 4 substations, which will bring relief to residents in Perica, East Bank Essequibo, Canal No. 1, West Bank Demerara, Kurukuru on the Linden-Susaik Highway, and Williamsburg in East Bank Berbice. Also, the expansion of substations at Kingston, Sophia, Columbia, Good Hope, East Coast Demerara, Redenhoop, West Bank Demerara, and No. 53 in Berbice will improve the service to residents in those communities.
It's allowing us to improve, obviously, in the level of service because we are also shortening the length of the conductors that feed the various areas. It makes isolation easier. It makes fault management a lot easier. It also helps in the reduction of losses.
Towards the end of 2017, it is expected that 1 or 2 of the substations would be completed. In the interim, expansion works will be ongoing. Renetta LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
The spotlight is again on Guyana's indigenous peoples. Exhibitors and patrons of the display at the Sophia Heritage Village are excited that the indigenous people's heritage is being celebrated again. Here is that report.
Indigenous Heritage Month was launched on September 1 under the theme Our Culture, Arts, Future, Save the Environment, Live the Indigenous Way at the Sophia Heritage Village. The Government Information Agency GINA was there and spoke with a few persons.
We're part of a women's group. Our group is like 33 women and we do handicraft. These are where the women, we get our income, where the men goes out. And we at home, we do our handicraft, maintain our culture. All indigenous people, let us be proud about our culture.
I have cassava bread, farine, lava, bush cow, and fish. That's on the menu, and we have fly and fruit punch. This is my 4th year here, so I'm giving it a try, see what it's like. Hopefully next year I plan better. Broadly, I must say yes. With Amerindians, what I expect is that we as Amerindian brothers and sisters should be proud. First of all, I must say I find that most of us, our young generation, are not proud of our identity. We try to hide or run away from it because I saw it earlier. Maybe when we got mature in age, then we'll realize what we're missing out on. Proud of who we are, proud of our heritage, proud of where we come from, and try to embrace our culture.
Deep South is a very quiet place, very quiet, and we all work together and we help each other at all times. We have a little business in Aishalton, and I cultivate a lot on peanut, where I help my people. I bring out their product, like this is what I bring out, peanut and farine, and take their money back into the Rupununi. I know we, the indigenous people, we could do good for ourselves by promoting more of our products from the Rupununi, especially when it comes to peanuts. We plant peanut at a large scale, but sometimes we do not have our market up there, so we just try to bring way down to Georgetown. So my encouragement that we need to work more harder and go for the future and betterment in life.
Happy heritage to all throughout Guyana, to all my brothers and sisters. And I wish the entire nation, with our president and all the rest of dignitaries in Guyana, that they all join with us to celebrate our month. And we hope that we have a happy month for this year. I have labo, smoked lab and tumor pot, bush cow, and smoked in the tumor pot also. All are indigenous with the cassava water. We make it, and I have maracot and gilbacker. Farine, seasoned farine. Yeah, I made all myself. Also have the indigenous drinks. Paiwari made from the cassava. And fly, we call it fly, because when you drink it, it makes you fly very high. I would like the government to look into the indigenous people, to all the indigenous, because we were all left out for quite some time, you understand, and now, well, since the government all in power, they're trying trying with the indigenous people, especially in the interior. Some parts are getting light now on water, you understand, which we never had it before, because as a child growing up, we never had those things in our village, you understand, and now everything is being more, organized, and it's better, yeah. So I must thank the government very much.
The Indigenous Food and Craft exhibition is open to the public and it will end on September 4 with a cultural extravaganza. Renette LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
Dried tomato products will soon be on the shelves of shops and supermarkets across Guyana. Find out more in this report.
Residents of Paramakatoy, Region 8, will begin drying tomatoes from a green and sustainable village economy initiative. Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, explains that steps are already being made to acquire the equipment to dry the tomatoes.
The bids are already at tender board. It's supposed to be opened this week so that the contractors who bid for these projects can start work right away, and we go into our tomato drying and later on tomato salad dressing.
The Institute of Applied Science and Technology, IAST, in collaboration with the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, made samples of dried tomatoes. Minister Garrido-Lowe says that the samples were well received by the Guyanese public.
To tell you the truth, it was very, people liked it because they had the survey, they had to put in how much, what they like about it, how much money they would pay for a bottle and stuff like that. And the reviews were quite great. So we expect as soon as these the facility goes up to start drying and so on, that we also have a local market.
The minister says that the organically grown tomato project is also receiving support from the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARI. The project is being funded by the Canadian High Commission to the tune of $4 million. This project is expected to boost the region's Green and Sustainable Village Economy initiative. Region 8 was allocated $33.4 million for its agriculture program for the first time through the 2016 regional budget. Shanta Goberdan with this Government News Brief.
Those are the reports we covered in today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website and Facebook page. GINA has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to visit and like us so you can be updated as the news unfolds. All government and other information can be accessed from GINA's website and our Facebook page. We encourage you to join us again on Monday for another edition of the Government News Brief. Until then, thank you for watching.